If you get stuck on truth tables, that ends today because I'm going to show you the logic in the simplest way possible using Hathor. And pay attention, most people get truth tables wrong not because logic is hard, but because they learn by memorizing, and today you're going to understand. At the end of the lesson, I'll give a challenge that most people miss on exams. Ready? What is a proposition? Everything in logic starts here. Here, a proposition is any sentence that I can classify as true or false. Shall we take a look at some examples here? Take a look at sentences that are propositions. First example, Hathor is 15 years old. Can I classify this sentence as true or false? Well, if Hathor really is 15 years old, this sentence is true. If Hathor is not 15 years old, this sentence will be false. So, this is a proposition. Another example here, Hathor's father is older than him. Is this sentence true or false? Can we classify it as true or false? We can, logically, because Hathor's father is older than him. If the guy is his father, he has to be older, right? So, this sentence is a true sentence. So, it's a proposition. Let's see one more example here. In 10 years, the sum of their ages will be 60. Can I classify this as true or false? Yes, I can. And really, if the sum of their ages after 10 years is 60, this sentence is a true sentence. So I can classify it as true or false. Therefore, it's a proposition. Someone might then ask, Professor, why are all three of them propositions? Please explain that better. They are propositions because they are statements that we can say are either false or true. Got it? Well, and how do we represent this in logic in the truth table? Well, the first sentence, for example, Hathor is 10 years old, for example, this sentence is a false sentence. So we're going to represent it with F for false, okay? Second example here, Hathor's father is older than him. Is that true? Yeah, if we're sure that's true. So this is a true sentence. We represent it with a T, okay? T for true. In the third example, in 10 years, the sum of their ages will be equal to 60 years. Well, this sentence could be true or it could be a lie. It could be false. If it's a true sentence, we'll represent it with T. If it's false, if it's a lie, we'll represent it with F, which is how we represent it in the truth table, all right? Now be careful, not every sentence is a proposition. If I say, for example, organize the boxes, that's an order, and an order can't be classified as true or false. Questions can't be classified either, nor can exclamations, so keep that in mind. If you can't label it as true or false, it's not a proposition. Look at the examples I wrote on the board. Questions: did Hathor finish? Commands: let's organize the inventory. Exclamations: how tiring. Open sentences: he is efficient. We can't say if it's true or false. So, it's only a proposition when we can assign a truth value of true or false to a sentence. Write that down. Now here come the 3 rules of logic. These are the rules that make the truth table work. First, the law of identity. If the question says that something is true, you treat it as true until the end. You don't change it in the middle of the table. What is true, and what is false is false. For example, if Hathor's age is 10, then it's 10, and that's it. If the question says that P is true, you will treat this identity as true until the end of the table. Second law, the law of non-contradiction. A statement cannot be true and false at the same time. For example, here, the statement, Hathor is younger than his father. It can't be true and false at the same time. Either he is younger than his father or he isn't. Third law, law of the excluded middle. In logic, there's no such thing as more or less. It's either true or it's false. For example, here. Statement, Hathor is 10 years old. It's either true or it's false. There's no middle ground there. Between true and false, there's no third option. Now, another very important thing in logic is this here. Propositions can be defined as simple and compound propositions. First, we represent propositions with lowercase letters, usually P, Q, R, and S. So proposition P in this example is the following. Hathor is 10 years old, and proposition Q. Hathor's father is 3 times his age. These are 2 simple propositions. Now, if we combine these 2 propositions, it could be as follows. The capital P proposition says, Hathor is 10 years old and his father is 3 times his age. This "and" means conjunction. It is joining the two simple propositions. Now, if this and connective is joining two simple propositions, it forms a compound proposition. Here's another example. Proposition Q. Heitor is 10 years old or his father is 3 times his age. This or means disjunction. All right, so Heitor is 10 years old or his father is 3 times his age. It's a compound proposition. The third example of a compound proposition is this one, proposition R. If Heitor is 10 years old, then his father is 3 times his age. This if, then is a conditional. So we join the two simple propositions. We form another proposition. Compound proposition. Now, Professor, these little words are used to connect the simple propositions, and, or, if, then. Look, the words used to form new propositions from others are called connectives. So, we have the connective and, the connective or, the connective if, then. We have other connectives that we will study later, okay? Now, how do we represent these connectives? Look, main connectives, and, or, if, then. If and only if. There are others that we will study. But for now, let's take a look at these. How do we represent these connectives in the truth table? Well, first, the connective and. This connective is represented by this little hat, which is the circumflex accent. Every time you see this circumflex accent, it represents the and connective. The OR connective is the same accent, but upside down. The little arrow pointing down, okay? So, the A and D connective is the accent pointing up. The OR connective is the accent the other way pointing down. Well, the if then connective is represented by this little arrow here. Every time you see this little arrow, it means if then. And the if and only if connective is represented by this double-sided arrow, okay? So, these are the representations of the main connectives that we're going to study. Now, what exactly is this truth table? This much-feared truth table that trips up a lot of people in exams. Pay attention here. To determine the truth value of a compound proposition, we use a tool called a truth table. In it, we organize all possible combinations of true or false for Heitor statements. For example, here. Proposition P, the sum of Heitor and his father's ages is 40. Proposition Q, in 10 years the sum of their ages will be 60. Now, I have a question for you. Is proposition P true or false? And what about proposition Q? Is it true or false? Well, then it can be either true or false, right? And we're going to represent and organize these combinations in a device called a truth table. How do we do that? Let's make a little table here, where at the top we'll use propositions P and Q. Then we have the following combinations. Proposition P can be true and proposition Q can also be true. That's one combination, right? Both the first and second statements can be true. That's the second combination. The first statement can be true and the second one is false. The next combination. The first statement can be false and the second statement can be true. And the last combination we can have here is that the first statement can be false and the second one can also be false. So we have these 4 possible combinations of true and false for these 2 statements by Heitor. P can be true and Q can be true. P can be true and Q can be false. P can be false and Q can be true. And P can be false and Q can also be false. Now write down the following. This truth table here for P and Q is a standard table. We will always use this truth table to build the truth table for compound propositions. So, it will always be like this. P, T, T, F, F, and the proposition Q, T, F, T, F. This table here is the standard table that we will use to build the truth table for compound propositions. Write that down. Well, now let's look at logical operations with propositions. First, let's understand a little about negation, the not connective, which is represented by this tilde. But Professor, what is negation? Well, I have a proposition P here. Heitor's age is 1/3 of his father's age. This statement can be true or it can be false, right? Now, to negate this statement, we put a tilde in front of proposition P. That will be not P. That's how you read it. There's proposition P. Heitor's age is 1/3 of his father's age. The negation is not P. Here's the thing, Hator's age is not 1/3 of his father's age. That's the negation of the statement above. Now, how do you build the truth table for the not connective? Pay attention here. First, let's use the standard table I just mentioned to you. The proposition P will always be TTFF and the proposition Q will be TFTF. It's always standard like this. Well, if we want to build the truth table for the negation, we have to create another little table here with not P and not Q. Now, what does that mean? Well, if proposition P is true, what's the negation of that? It's false, right? It's false. So, to negate proposition P, let's first negate this little table of proposition P. Here's the thing, every time P is true, not P will be false. Every time P is false, not P will be true. It's always the opposite. So, let's go. If the table for P is TTFF, the table for not P will always be the opposite. Look, F, F, T, and T. When P is T, not P will be F. When P is F, not P will be T. It's always the opposite. It's negation. In the same way, the truth table for not Q. If Q is true, not Q is false. So let's go. First, Q is true, not Q will be false. Second, look, Q is false, not Q will be true. Q is true, not Q is false. Q is false, not Q is true. All right? Always negating. Got it? Now, do you remember at the beginning of the class those connectives we saw? Connective and connective or connective if then. First, let's study the AND connective. How do we build the truth table for the AND connective? Analyzing here, look, two simple propositions. Look, proposition P, Hator is 15 years old, and proposition Q, Hator's father is 3 times his age. If we combine these two simple propositions into a compound proposition using the connective AND, we can write the following. Look, P and Q, look at the representation of P and Q. I mentioned this at the beginning. Every time you see this little hat, the circumflex accent, it means and. So, we read this here as P and Q. Hator is 15 years old and his father is 3 times his age. We put all this together into a compound proposition. So, Kiki, I just said it. P and Q, read this as P and Q, got it? Now, the golden rule of the conjunction P and Q. For it to be true, everything has to be true. If one or both of them are false, P and Q will be false. What do you mean, Professor? For it to be true, all parts must be true. Let's check the truth table for the AND connective in practice. Building the truth table for the AND connective, it goes like this. We have proposition P, proposition Q. It's already set up there like I told you. P, T, T, F, F, and Q, T, F, T, F. I'll always tell you this so you can remember it. You need to know this by heart, okay? And we want to find the truth table for the compound proposition P and Q. Setting up this little table, take a look. Both are true. Look, is P true and is Q true? Yes. If I have TT, it's all true, so P and Q will be true. Now, looking at the second row of the truth table, P is true and Q is false. If there is a false among them, P and Q will be false. In the same way, the third row, P is false and Q is true. Is there a false among them? Yes. So P and Q will be false. The last row, look, P is false and Q is false. Is there a false among them? Yes. Both are false, so P and Q will be false. So remember this. The AND connective is demanding. One lie brings everything down. Got it? Well, let's go to a practical example here. Look, proposition P, Hator is the son of his reader. Proposition Q, Hator's father is older than him. Let's take this first statement as true. Hator really is the son of his reader. That's true. And the second proposition Q, Hator's father is older than him. Yeah, that's true. We're sure about that. Both statements are true. So the compound proposition P and Q will also be true. Look, Hator is the son of his reader, and Hator's father is older than him. That's true, see? Both the first statement and the second one are true. That's why this compound proposition is also true. Why? Because both are true. Now pay attention to this other example. Look, P, Hator is the son of his reader. Yeah, that's true. Now, proposition Q, Hator's father is younger than him. No, that's false. There's no way the father can be younger than the son. That's false. If we build the compound proposition P and Q, pay attention. Hator is the son of his reader. That's correct. And Hator's father is younger than him. No, that's false. So this statement here, look, Hator is the son of his reader and Hator's father is younger than him. This is false. It's wrong. One of them is false. So when one of them is a lie, it brings everything down. The compound proposition P and Q will also be false. Professor, what about that other OR connective we saw? Hold on, take it easy now. Now we're going to take a look at the truth table for the OR connective, the disjunction. Notice that I represented the truth table with P, Q, and P or Q. That upside down caret means OR, like I mentioned before, okay? So this is the little table for P or Q. Well, taking the example here, look. Proposition P, Hator organized the boxes. Proposition Q, Hator checked the goods. Taking these two simple propositions and forming a compound proposition with the OR connective, it will be like this. P or Q, which is Hator organized the boxes or checked the goods. So just to reinforce this representation, P upside down caret Q, you read this as P or Q, okay? Now when is it going to be false and when is it going to be true? P or Q, pay attention. A disjunction P or Q will only be false if both P and Q are false. In other words, write down this trick. Or only loses, it's only false when everything goes wrong. When you have F and F, that is, when everything is false, or will be false. So let's go. Let's build the table for P or Q. First row. P is true and Q is true. If one of them is true, it doesn't matter. P or Q will be true, okay? Just one of them needs to be true. You only lose when everything goes wrong. That is, when you have F and F. Second line, is one of them true? Yes. So P or Q will be true. Third line, F and T. Look, is one of them true? Yes. Q is true. So P or Q will also be true. Now last line, look. P is false and Q is false. Everything is false. In other words, everything went wrong. So P or Q will also be false. That means it will be false. Let's go to a practical example here. Look, check this out. Hator's boss gave an instruction to the team. What was that instruction? Today, to reach our goal, we need to finish the boxes or we need to do the checklist. So, to reach today's goal, you need to finish the boxes or you need to do the checklist. Pay attention to that. So here, look, proposition P, Hator finishes the boxes, and proposition Q, Hator does the checklist. Look, the rule of disjunction, Hator will reach the goal if at least one of the tasks is done. Remember when I said that the P or Q table is only false when everything goes wrong? So that's exactly it. Look, proposition P, Hator didn't finish the boxes, so that's false because he had to finish the boxes. And proposition Q, Hator doesn't do the checklist. In other words, none of the tasks were completed. So I ask you, did Hator reach the goal? No, right? Because neither of the two tasks was completed, so he didn't reach the goal. With that, P or Q will be false. He would have only reached the goal. In other words, it would only be true if at least one of the two had been completed. But he didn't complete any, so when everything goes wrong, it will be false. Now, shall we practice a little? Let's go to the first exercise here so we can reinforce it a bit. Take a look. First question. Hator only receives the production bonus if he organizes 500 boxes and there are no errors in the report. If Hator organized the 500 boxes but the report had an error, did he receive the bonus? What do you think? Did he get the bonus? Notice that now the AND connective is not the OR connective, it's the connector AND. Pause the video, think about it for a bit, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Let's go to the answer key. I'll show you the solution. Take a look. He needed to organize the boxes and there couldn't be any mistakes in the report. Hator organized the boxes, but the report had an error, so one of the two tasks was not completed. And the AND, the connective AND, for it to be true, both have to be true. So the answer key is as follows. P organized the boxes true, and Q, there was an error in the report. So there shouldn't have been an error in the report, so this is false. And in the A and D connective, when you have TF, that's false. This is true when both are true. Got it? What do we conclude? That he didn't receive a bonus. All right? Let me know in the comments if you got this one right. All right, problem number 2. Check this out. Proposition P. Heitor arrived early. Proposition Q. Heitor checked the inventory. Build a truth table for P or not Q. Heitor arrived early or he didn't check the inventory. Pause the video, try to build this table on your own, then let me know in the comments if you got it right. I'll show you the solution step by step. Well, the first step to build this truth table is to create the truth table for P, Q, and not Q. These are the simple propositions. Remember when I told you that the truth table for P and Q always follows a pattern? The table for P is TTFF, and the table for QTFTF. All right, it's always going to be like this. Now, if we already have the table for Q, not Q is easy, we just have to negate it, invert it. In proposition Q, the first line is true, so not Q will be false. Second line, Q is false, so not Q is true. Third line, Q is true, not Q will be false. On the last line, Q is false, not Q will be true, all right? Now that we have P and not Q, we are going to build the truth table for the compound proposition P or not Q, all right? Pay attention because we're only going to look at the table for P and the table for not Q. We won't need to use the table for Q. What we want is P and not Q. This is the table in the middle. Let's compare P with not Q. Well, since we're building the table for P or not Q, the OR is only false when everything goes wrong. In other words, when everything is false, the OR will be false. If there's at least one true, the table for P or not Q will be true. All right? So let's analyze the first row. Remember, it's P and not Q. That one in the middle, we can ignore it, okay? Well, P is true, not Q is false. Is there at least one true? Yes, there is. So P or not Q will be true. Second row. P is true, not Q is also true. Both are true. P or not Q will be true. Third row. P is false and not Q is false. Oops, everything went wrong. Everything is false. So P or not Q will be false. Everything is false when everything goes wrong. Write that down. Last row. P is false, not Q is true. Is at least one of them true? All right, P or not Q will be true. So the truth table for P or not Q is TTFT. Whoever got that TTFT got this question right. Come on, tell me in the comments how you did it if you managed to get it right. Well, question number 3, so we can keep practicing a bit here, okay? Build the truth table for the proposition not P and not Q. Now it's and, not P and not Q. Pause the video and try to build this table on your own. I'll show you the solution. Ready to see it? First, notice that the table for P and Q is already done there. This is the standard one I mentioned to you. PV, TTFF, TFTF. Now, to build this truth table here, for not P and not Q, we need not P and we need not Q. All right, that's why I put it in the table there. Well, the table for not P is the opposite of the table for P, right? If P is TTFF, then not P will be FFTT. That's it. We just invert it. In the same way, not Q. If the table for Q is TFTF, what's the opposite of that? FTFT. Now, do you remember that tip I gave? The AND connective is only true when both are true, okay? So let's go. Not P and not Q. We're only going to analyze these two tables here. Look, not P and not Q. My AND connective AND is only true when everything is true. So let's go. First line. Not P is false, not Q is false. So, not P and not Q will be false, okay? It's only true when everything is true. Second line, not P is false. Not Q is true. Is there a true one? Yes, but the other is false. So, not P and not Q will be false. Third line, not P is true. Not Q is false. There's one that's true, isn't there? But the other one is false. And is only true when everything is true. Since there's one that's false, not P and not Q will be false. Now last line, not P is true. Not Q is true. Is everything true? Yes, it is. So, not P and not Q is also true. It's only true when everything is true. So, the truth table for this compound proposition, not P and not Q, is FFFT. Whoever got that nailed the problem. Awesome, right? Well, now it's up to you guys. How many true values appear in the last column? Try to solve it on your own and then let me know in the comments. I'll leave the answer key in the video description for you. Well, if this lesson finally made the truth table clear for you, leave a like on the video and comment, I understood the logic, because I'll bring you the next part right here on conditionals, biconditionals, and logical equivalences, okay? And if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. There are many lessons here that will help you when it's time for the test. A big hug from Professor Robson Lyers. See you in the next lesson.